Hello and welcome to another episode of the Talking Rangers podcast. Today is Friday, May 3rd. Hopefully everybody is enjoying their week. The week has come to a close. We've got a game time and a day for the New York Rangers against the Carolina Hurricanes. Took a couple days for some reason for them to figure out first what day they were playing and then an actual game time. It'll be Sunday, 4 o'clock Eastern. Rangers, Hurricanes, second round, game number 1 at MSG. It'll be another loaded week at MSG. You'll have the Knicks second round series against the Pacers on Monday. You've, of course, got the Rangers on Sunday. So a lot of exciting things coming up. A lot of hopefully wins for both teams. Hopefully another successful series for the New York Rangers. This is Talking Rangers episode 31. Make sure to please like and subscribe. We'll, of course, have post-game show after each and every one of these second round matchups. Joe, we've reached the second round. 12 wins away, 4 down. It feels like the Rangers haven't played in forever, even though it was just Sunday. So it's been, 5 days?
Yeah.
But here we are, getting ready. Second round matchup. Carolina, repeat of 2022, or hopefully a repeat of 2022. Maybe Rangers in 7 again. How's it going, man?
It's going good. Like you said, both the New York teams they're buzzing right now. This is the first time in like 10 years that the Knicks and the Rangers advanced to the second round. So that's pretty cool. I don't mean to be like, it's not like a cocky or like any like bad like harm against the Capitals, but for being honest, the playoffs start now. Like, let's be honest here. Like, the Capital series wasn't really much of a playoff. It was more of just a
Didn't feel
warm up.
like it.
It was like a warm up. So
yeah, it's and that's just in general too. I mean, even if the Rangers would have played, that's not necessarily disrespect towards the Capitals. It's more so even if they would have played the Flyers or even the Penguins, while it probably would have felt more like a playoff series, the New York Rangers had to win the first round. Like, they've accomplished nothing so far in the playoffs, in my eyes. If they lose this series, it's not a success. I think they've got to get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, I think they got to get to the finals.
Yeah, I would agree, but at least the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, it would be a absolute failure if they lose this series. Not to get into already the expectations before we even get into the matchup itself, but like the first round, the Rangers had to win, no matter who they were playing. Even if it would have broke to where they were having to face Tampa, they still would have had to win that series, because to win the President's Trophy, get bounced in the first round after getting bounced in the first round last year, it would have been a debacle. So yeah, the playoffs start now. This is a team that'll get a rematch of what they faced in 2022. Now, I guess we could quickly just recap that Capitals series, quickly go over everything that went right, because a lot did go right. I thought the Rangers played well. I thought they didn't play their best at times, but then again, they were just the better team. They didn't have to play their best, really. I mean, they could have been, there was a couple moments in those games where they were struggling and they were still able to win. I think they'll lock it down. There was some messy plays. They took a lot of penalties. Some of it, of course, was the refs, but there was a lot of penalties. There was some turnovers. I think the Rangers will really lock it in this series because it's the second round. It's a much better opponent. So what are just some of your final takeaways from Washington after that got wrapped up? And then just some quick stuff here onto Carolina before we get into some of the nitty gritty, what to expect, keys, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the series was pretty much how most people kind of saw it playing out. Not really much fight. I mean, I guess, I wouldn't say like the Capitals was like laid down and like they got blown out of every game, but I mean, if it just seemed like the Rangers had the hold on every game, regardless of the score. I feel like anytime the Capitals went up, the Rangers responded right after pretty quickly, and the Capitals really never held any leads in the series, so there was not really much of like a nerve factor coming more from like a fan perspective, where like we were never really nervous. Like, they always were like winning or tied. And I think it's just as far as like the Rangers, I just think, like I said, like I don't mean as disrespect, but it was kind of like a warm up series,
Yeah.
I don't think they really gave, like I said, the Rangers or the Capitals really gave us any real struggle. There was some points where maybe you could have thought guys could have played a little bit better, like maybe Panarin, or I don't know. But like, just in the general sense, I don't think there was many negatives to take out of it. Maybe, like I said, you could have seen a little bit more scoring. I mean, they did score like 4 goals a game, but maybe just more because of the opponent, or just maybe the penalties, which I don't blame them on them. I thought the refereeing wasn't great
Mhm.
on both sides, and then
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's a tough series to really grade because I don't really consider the Capitals a playoff team. So, but we'll see what happens in this series. But again, I think they were great. A couple guys we kind of mentioned this in other videos. I thought Trocheck was awesome. Zibanejad was great. That the defense, I thought all six of them played well. Obviously, Igor was good. Um, and then obviously, I mean, the fourth line, Barkley Goodrow.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
buzzing. So I mean, they had everybody going, and like the third line, I thought was great. I thought that was their best line, even though they only got that one goal, but they were unbelievable. I think on both sides, and
Yeah.
it was just a great team effort. But again, like Carolina's a different animal, and they're going to be a lot better. So we'll see what happens. I did think Carolina going a little bit towards that. Like I said, there was really nothing much to take away in the Capital Series, more than just everybody's healthy for the most part, and just they got through what they needed to do, and the good special teams. But I don't think people are really given Carolina that much of not like negativity towards them, but I don't really think they didn't really I know they won in five, but I think that series was
Yeah.
completely
I think.
different. What do you think about that series?
Yeah. Again, Carolina's a really good team. They're very good PK, very good on the power play. Freddie Anderson is kind of, in a way, this playoff and down the stretch of the season kind of came out of the middle of nowhere. He's played really well. There is a lot of really good things. Of course, they pushed us to the brink almost, 2 years ago, having to go to the seventh game in 2022. But yeah, I thought, in a way, this might sound stupid. This is almost like a can't lose or a must win statement, I guess. But it feel like the Islanders lost that series more than the Carolina actually won it. I know that might sound dumb, but you had in game, what was it, game
Two.
three, the Islanders, or was it
No,
game two? Yeah, game
game
two,
two.
they blew the 3-0 lead. You then they obviously even in game five
I think
back
all
at
the way.
Carolina, you
I
had the
think all
two
the
goals in what 14 seconds, like that
all
can't
the
happen.
games were tied or one goal going into the third.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
and all the games. But if you take the empty nets out, I think all the games ended in one goal games except game five.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, and even even game five, it was what tied 3-3, and then they had the two goals in what was it,
back
14
to back.
seconds, whatever it
No,
took that. Yeah,
it was like 9 seconds.
9 seconds. Yeah, it was took that bad ricochet, and then they scored. So you can make a case that if the Islanders knew how to actually hold on to a lead, because they never did that. If they actually knew how to do that, that series would have easily probably gone six, maybe even seven, if the Islanders would have known how to do that. But of course, the Islanders do not know how to do that. We saw that in the Stadium series. So yeah, I think, look, the Islanders, similar to the Capitals, while they were the higher seed, you can make a case the Islanders weren't much of a playoff team themselves, with all their problems on special teams, with all their issues holding leads, with the coaching change. It took them to go down the stretch, have to be dominant their final 8 to 10 games, similar to what the Capitals had to do. So two kind of warm-up series. Carolina handled them 1-5, not taking anything away from them. But yeah, I agree. I thought, similar to the Rangers, Carolina took care of business, but I guess the Rangers, I would say, probably were maybe more impressive. Probably, I would guess, would be the word.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
The
guess you could say that,
Islanders had
but
their chances. They just aren't very good. They're not a
I, di-
playoff team.
I didn't really think the Capitals had any chance of winning any of the games.
No.
So I
Yeah,
thought
I
the
mean,
Islanders,
even
like
when
you
the Rangers
said,
were down at
could.
times,
I mean,
you
no,
still
like
felt
I
confident.
literally said the Rangers, I think were down for a combined like minute in
Yeah,
the
it
series
was
because
crazy. Yeah, I saw that stat.
Trocheck must have scored like because I was at that game maybe like 2 minutes after maybe like 1 or 2 minutes after and then like think Kreider scored like seconds I think right in game three
Yeah,
it was like
yeah,
right
because
away.
yeah, I believe so, because it was what it was like 5 minutes in. It was Carlson, and then yeah, Kreider scored it like, yeah, it was like a 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't hold. Like I said, they rarely held any leads, and the games were always either 1 or 2 goals up by the Rangers, and then like I guess in game two they got that like, goal in the third to get it to a 1 goal game, but still like the difference was like in the series is I think the Rangers never really felt like they were going to
yeah,
lose a game, never like they were in command, and I think there was a games where maybe the Hurricanes weren't playing great and they kind of you like you said or they didn't, but the Islanders kind of like beat themselves. So
yeah. I agree. Even with the Rangers too, something else to know is they were able to score in bunches, because if you go back to game three, Gaudreau had that shorthanded goal, what, like 2 minutes after, I think it was. He scored like 2 minutes later in game three.
to go up 2-1.
Yeah. So, and in game one, you had the third line with the Rempe and all that. What they scored 3 goals in what, like 2 minutes. So the Rangers were able to score in bunches in those games as well, which made it even more comfortable for them. They were able to either come back from down 1-0, jump out to a 2-3-1 lead after that. So yeah, it
Here's a,
was very unstressful series. Other than game two in the final 2 minutes, that was the only stressful part of that entire series. Other than that, the Rangers took care of business in the rest of every game, and there was no real stress towards the end or any moment. It
yeah,
wasn't. Okay, so we're back. Some tech difficulties, but Joe, you can continue on what you were saying.
yeah, no, I was just so like we can kind of just talk about these two teams like getting like don't take away all like the prior series. Um, I just think that it's going to be a tough series for both teams. Um,
Mhm.
I think that I think more of like looking at the Rangers, where maybe it's obviously a different team. Elite special teams you're going up against on both sides, so that's going to be an adjustment. Another adjustment I wanted to talk about was just the fact of like the play style is that
Yeah.
the Hurricanes are a very like heavy shot taking team. They take a lot of shots, and that might be maybe. Would you say that could maybe affect Igor at all? Where like I feel like in the Capital series they didn't really have to face many, and I feel like maybe the Hurricanes were just they're just going to throw shots on net.
Yeah, I know it is interesting that I mentioned that because that's something I was talking to somebody about that a couple of days ago. Um, not that I want not that I want other teams to get grade A, high, good chances on Igor, put a lot of pressure on him, but you would have liked to see him get worked a little bit more against the Capitals, especially maybe in game four, where, the series was pretty much over. It was 3-0. If the Rangers would have lost that game, they probably would have won game five anyway back at home. He didn't get worked much. He didn't have a lot of pressure on him, which is good for that. But yeah, Capitals put a lot of shots on you. They forecheck really well. It'll be interesting to see how Igor handles it early on. He's also got, of course, 6 days off, but it's a week off by the
Yeah,
time this game will be played on Sunday from last Sunday's win. So I think the team as a whole, both teams, it'll be actually interesting to see how they start because if we're being honest, both teams are having extended days off from the Hurricanes last played Tuesday, so they were gonna have some time off. They're having some time off as well. Um, I think in the beginning it's something to keep an eye on, but look, Igor's kind of in a zone right now. It seems. Again, he didn't face much pressure, but he did what he needed to do against the Capitals, and I thought he made a couple really good saves and a couple of the really good chances that they had. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, I think early on in any series, it's interesting just to see, especially when you have the time off. But I mean, I trust Igor.
yeah. I mean, he's got like an absurd like his stats against the Hurricanes are like really good, especially in the playoffs from that series. I don't know if like they take in consideration the bubble, but if you just look up like if you look up Igor postseason stats versus um, the Hurricanes, it's really good. I think it's like around like a 940 or 950, especially in that series. He was dominating them. And I just think that
Mhm.
he has come to play every time we play the Hurricanes. I mean, you could say that he owns them, but I don't want to go as far as that, like kind of jinxing anything. But he's shown up in all those play on all those play. He was awesome, and I don't think he gave up more than 3 goals in any of those games.
No, I
Um,
mean, even if
like
you're going back to 2022, right?
yeah, that I'm saying that postseason, just in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think he's got good
that,
stats versus the Hurricanes.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at the first 3 game, first 4 game, really the entire series. Even the 2 games they lost in game one and two, he only allowed 2 goals. And then when
You
you
know,
go back
yeah,
to the 2 home games, he only allowed 1 goal because they won 3-1. I think they won game four, 4-1. Yeah, I got it up on my screen now. And then after that, he did allow 3 in game five, but then only allowed 2 in 6 and 7. So, yeah, I mean, he was
so,
phenomenal.
so if you take away the bubble, which I don't really consider that the
Yeah, the
playoffs,
bubble's stupid.
um, let's see, you're second last.
I mean, he only played
Uh,
1 game in that bubble, right? Because Lundqvist technically started the other 2, right?
he did. They all played one. No, no, Georgia played one of them. But this is
Did?
including the bubble. I can't find the stats of that not including the bubble. He's played. so if you include 8 games versus them in the playoffs, a 1.89, which is ridiculous, and a 943. That's absurd in the playoffs. Like that,
Yeah.
that was one of the games he gave up 3 goals in, the game in the bubble. So if you take that game out,
Yeah.
he only gave up 3 goals in one game, which is insane. Like he was like, listen to these save percentages too. 923. That's not horrible. But game two, 952. Game three,
Yeah.
977, 968. Then 912. They lost that game. That was the one game he gave up 3 goals. Then 949, 949. It's like he comes to play, and he's I think he's the factor in this series for either side. He's the biggest guy. I think if he plays to his game, they're going to win this series. But I just kind of like before we are saying that I think it's could be a little bit of a slower start. I mean, it is at the Garden, so maybe he's got the crowd and stuff like that on the side. But
Yeah.
just the styles of play, where like I said, the Capitals kind of didn't really generate a lot, and like the Hurricanes just they throw everything on net. So
Yeah, I agree. He's been look. He turns it on to another gear in the playoffs. He just does. And you look at his even in Game 7, of course, that was where 949 that game
yeah,
when they won 6-2 against Carolina. Even the series prior, you go back to that Pittsburgh series, which is kind of irrelevant now. But either way, yeah, yeah. I think the Rangers as a whole, I feel like at times they come out
did
slow
you
in
wait,
games.
did you hear the stat though? Another thing about Igor is like he's gone 27 games in a row without giving up more than 3 goals in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know what's funny is
That's an
I think
insane
I've heard of
number.
that. They were
27.
in Game 1 against the Capitals. I believe it was Game 1.
Yeah.
Sean McDonough was hammering the stat of he hasn't allowed more than 2 goals in a
And
home
then the
playoff game.
next game he gives up 3 goals.
Yeah, and then he allowed 3 goals the next game. I'm like, oh my god, can you
But
please stop talking about this?
that's such an absurd stat though.
It is.
The guy has played 27 straight games without giving up more than 3 goals. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Is that
And
wait
he's only done it twice. It was the 2 games against the Penguins back to back.
back in his 27 straight playoffs you're talking about?
27 straight playoff games. He
Yeah.
has yet to give up
Well,
more
yeah,
than 3 goals.
and then
And
what the last 2 you're saying was the Pittsburgh where he was first time on the road
yeah, those
and then
two
he turned on.
he gave up 6 and 4.
Yeah.
He might have
That was
he mi-
crazy. That was
the,
such a weird series for him.
I know, like I thought he was okay in the first 2 games. I didn't think he was bad.
No, the first 2
Oh,
games he
you know
was
what? No.
fine.
Game 1 he gave up 4 goals. He shouldn't have, but he did because it was
Well,
4-3.
yeah, he had the OT too.
But we should have won in regulation. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's
The
irrelevant.
the Heedle goal, that was a little ridiculous. But since the Penguins series, like I said, 27 in a row was ridiculous, especially in the NHL today, where they call more penalties in the playoffs, and it's just a higher scoring league. He's just been unbelievable, and especially
Yeah.
against the Hurricanes. But like, yeah, he's definitely the biggest factor in this series.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he probably is the biggest really X factor in every single series. Comes down to goaltending, especially if he's playing well. I don't care how good Freddie Anderson's playing. I don't care how good Sergei Bobrovsky's playing. If we would to move on and face Florida, assuming they don't get bounced from whoever comes out of this
The Leafs.
Game 7 versus Boston and Leafs. Yeah, of course. I mean, Game 7, it's going to be a lot of fun, but I mean, Boston, come on now. I mean, this is second year in a row, same thing's happening. They're without Austin Matthews. Are the Leafs better without Austin Matthews? Got to start dialogue.
I think they're undefeated in the playoffs when he doesn't play. So
yeah, coming back for 3-1. Here come the Leafs.
But
yeah, no, Igor's the biggest key. Igor's on. This team's going to go far. If he struggles, this team's not going to come out of the series. That's any series. That's this series, next series. If they get to the cup, just is. It all also goes back to the whole core thing with how they've got to core's got to show up.
Yeah, and also
So,
like in this series too, like kind of just stemming off that. Besides like Igor, I mean, comparative to the last series, like this is like special teams. I think are going to be even more important in this series because of how good each of them are. And one big thing I want to say, like kind of going off that, to give you another X factor for the Rangers, would be Vincent Trocheck because, I mean, if you watched any of the games or kind of recall any of the games that they played the Hurricanes, the Rangers' biggest problem was entering the zone in the power play. Like the Hurricanes have completely shut off the Rangers' entry into the power play. If they get the puck out of the ice, the Rangers have trouble getting back in. So I think winning that initial faceoff for the both special teams are so essential and huge. And I think he was maybe the best forward, maybe the best player in the team in the last series. And I think against the Hurricanes, you need to win faceoffs.
Yeah, when you look at some of the numbers, I have them up here. So regular season wise, huge, of course, special teams battle here. Special teams always a factor anytime the Rangers play in a series.
Are they both
But
top 5? Did they both finish top
yeah,
5?
yeah, in the regular season, yeah. So regular season, Rangers were 26.4% on the power play. That was third. The Hurricanes were second at 26.9. Penalty kill in the regular season, Rangers were 84.5. That was third. And the Hurricanes were first with 86.4. So their PK statistically was the best in hockey in the regular season. Now you go to the playoffs, the Rangers have been the better team so far through 4 games of the playoffs. 37.5% power play versus Hurricanes, who have a 33.3% power play, and then an 88.2% PK for the Rangers. Hurricanes have a 72.7 PK through the 5 games against the Islanders. So, they Hurricanes played one more game, so not too
I
much to
mean,
use,
but the
but those are
Hurricanes,
the
like,
yeah.
they were playing against maybe like one of the
No,
worst
yeah, that is
penalty
something that
kills I've ever
mhm.
seen. The
Yeah, I'm glad you
the
mentioned that.
Islanders were so bad.
It yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's interesting to see, especially the PK go down 14% from
Against
what
the
it was in the
worst
regular season when you're
against
going
the
up
worst
against
team.
Carolina. Yeah. Or
I'm saying that
the
Islanders were the
Islanders.
worst
Yeah.
penalty killing team in the league, and it
No,
wasn't even
yeah, it
close.
is. It's almost like yeah, I mean, it's just the power play too. Even the penalty kill for the Islanders, or the power play for the Islanders is not very good.
No, not at all. But
It
I
feels
think
like you're
though,
on the
like,
power play
listen,
when the Islanders are on the power play.
dude, no, it'd be the opposite. I'm like a Panarin on the power play. I circle those the zone behind the net. I
No,
feed.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm saying like when the Islanders are on the power play, it feels like
oh,
you're on, like the Rangers are on the
oh, I
power
thought you were
play.
taking a shot at me. I was like, no, I'm a beast at men's
No,
league.
I
But no,
mean,
yeah,
oh,
because
of
the
course.
Rangers,
I mean, you're a
yeah,
men's league champion.
that is true. I mean, I have more rings than anybody in the. I don't think anybody on the Hurricanes have any rings, so I have more rings than
That
everybody in
is
the
true.
Hurricanes.
I mean, the Rangers don't have any rings either,
I mean,
but
maybe Jordan Stahl
I
does. I
mean,
don't know, but I it, we said goaltending the Rangers. I
yeah.
know the penalty kill on the Rangers side. It's gonna be close. I think just like penalty kill versus their power play, but the Rangers power play should like we have like I don't think there's any power play in the
Yeah.
league that's set up better than ours. I think we
Yeah.
should win that battle. But like I said, we need to win that first like initial face off. But I think the Rangers, I know the numbers say Hurricanes. I think they have the edge in both though,
In
in
both
on special
special
teams.
teams.
Just because the first off for the best your best penalty killer is your goaltender.
Yeah.
So you can kind of give that to the Rangers, and then for the power play, I just think the Rangers have the better players.
hmm Yeah. And to your point with the goaltending, Igor in round one, 93 saves, 100 shots allowed, 7 goals allowed, or 100 shots against, rather. 1.75 goals allowed per game. When you look at Freddie Anderson, even in a great series from him and a great stretch this season, he's still 2.25 goals allowed per game. He's still allowed more goals, 12. I know it's one extra game, but statistically, Igor is still better. So even with Freddie Anderson as hot as he is, Rangers still have the goaltending advantage, which is huge, of course, on the PK. Um, Obviously, Gensel is provided a lot too for Carolina. I would say before we get to just some other stuff, I would say because of course for that first power play unit, it's been a big boost with Gensel. Jarvis, of course, has had a pretty good postseason. He leads Carolina right now in points with 7. He's got 3 goals, 4 assists, in the
That's
5
pretty
games
good.
against the Islanders.
They have a very deep team. I'll say that
Yeah.
they have a
Oh
very
yeah.
deep team.
And even Kuznetsov too is. And I don't know how much slower he could have went in on the penalty shot.
Fuck him.
Will we see that? Hopefully, we don't see that. That's good.
Hopefully, I mean, no, fuck it. We'll see it. Igor will make the save.
Yeah. I could. You could have. He could have went to me. Goal. Who was this Sorokin in that game?
No, it was
Or no, it was
Varlamov because
Varlamov.
that was in
Sorokin was
game
game 4. That
5.
was game 5.
Yeah,
Yeah. Varlamov. Yeah. Varlamov could have went to McDonald's, came back, and he wouldn't have been over there. But
probably.
so you trust both. You think the Rangers, even though the numbers, I mean, actually, statistically, the Rangers are better in the playoffs so far. They're better by 5% in the power play, and they're better by 16% in the PK. I'm a little shocked at the Carolina. Like I watched some of that series. I didn't realize their PK was as low as it was.
I just don't. At the end of the day, like if you just look at a series, I think the Rangers have more of like guys, like
Yeah, I mean they're more
big,
talented.
more like, but they have more of like guys, like big time guys. Is
hmm
Carolina's more of like decent players like Svechnikov and Gensel and Aho, but I don't think any of those guys can really take over a series. I think Fox could take over a series.
Yeah.
I think Zibanejad could take over a series, and
Yeah.
especially Igor. So,
hmm
and I just think
Yeah.
at the end of the
Mhm.
day, though, I'm just saying like we have more like guys.
Yeah, I think too, from a Carolina perspective, they've gone through 5 different goalies this year. It's been kind of crazy. At what point is this Freddie Anderson magic going to wear off? It feels like
Yeah,
at some point he's going to not bottom out, but at some point he's feeling going to start to plateau again, right? You can't play this good for
yeah,
that long. Feels like it. He's never been this type of
and
player, but
also 7 home games. Although they're trying to keep Rangers fans out, though. Did you see that?
yeah, I did.
They're
It's
like
going to be
they're
Philly. It's going to be Philly and Carolina. Knicks take over,
they're,
Rangers take over.
they're
They always
geofencing.
take over.
A lot of Rangers
It's
fans though in
crazy
Carolina.
how, yeah, it's crazy how much like I know we said this in a couple episodes ago. I think you mentioned it. It's crazy how when the Rangers are on the road, like when they score, it's almost like you're at home.
Yeah,
But it's crazy though. When you go to the Garden, there is not a single
pin
cheer
drop.
for the
Yeah,
opposing team.
it's a crazy experience that like
Yeah,
it's like no other arena.
yeah. I feel like that's
Ma-
with most New York. Not really. I mean, MSG special because even just going around the rest of the city, Barclays gets taken over by
Yeah,
because there is no
but
Nets fans
they're not really
other
a
than myself
New
and
York.
maybe
They're
a
not really
couple
a
other.
New York team
No,
though. I don't
yeah,
count them.
but even MetLife, when both teams are bad, fans take over that arena. Even when the Rangers were going
That
through
is
their
true.
rebuild and the Knicks had their days, that still was an arena that did not. It still was full of Knicks fans. Still was full of Rangers fans.
Yeah, I
The only
agree.
arena. I mean, even it's the MetLife gets taken over all the time. I mean, just does. So
It's because I
it's
mean
special.
those teams are like poverty though. The Jets and
Yeah, and
the
we're also
Giants.
comparing the world's giant air conditioner to the world's most famous arena. I mean, got to
That's
compare
true.
apples
Yeah,
to apples
like,
here. It's not really fair.
dude, keep
And
your
technically, one's in New York, one's in Jersey, so it's not even a New York venue.
keep MSG out of your mouth. Don't compare it to the air conditioner.
No, yeah, I'm just saying.
I know. I'm
MSG is
just
like the
joking.
only arena, and UBS is still new, but Rangers
I mean,
fans will
yeah,
take over that arena too.
UBS is a nice arena though. I'll give them that. It's a
You
pretty
been?
nice one. No, but I've heard. So
Yeah.
I guess maybe not off like firsthand experience, but I've heard a lot of people say it's really nice.
hmm Um, what are your thoughts on how they can kind of what are your thoughts on Gensel? What do you think of this type of series? The Rangers are supposed to get him.
Ugh,
We're gonna maybe get him at the deadline. Just saying.
he's gonna have a big
When you look at the
series.
Rangers' top point scores so far, they're playoff leaders. Miko with 7, Trocheck with 6, Roslovic with 4. Or I apologize. Yeah, 4.
And Lafreniere, he's got 4 too.
Yes. Yeah, Lafreniere's got 4 as well. He's got the
Wait,
4 assists.
how many
Now,
points does Gensel have?
Gensel has 4. Roslovic and
Oh,
Gensel
okay,
have the same, and Gensel played one more game.
that's true.
So I'm just saying,
Gensel better or
Roslovic right now in the playoffs, the better player.
Roslovic
I know you want him out, but it's
better
it's
confirmed. Or will Roslovic outscore Gensel?
in this series.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not? Sure. Yeah. No,
he is a
probably not,
Rangers
but
killer though.
why not?
He elevates his game when he plays against the Rangers.
I think he might elevate it too a little bit more, especially this kind of time around. He knows that we were looking at him,
Yeah, but guess who we have?
and he has 20.
We have playoff Roslovic. Rangers playoff Roslovic. Guy's
Yeah,
a point of game player. Can't say the same thing
definitely.
about Gensel on the Hurricanes. He's not a point of game player in the Hurricanes, right? You said
Well,
4 points and 4 and 5.
yeah, in the playoffs, the regular season he was. He had 25 and 17, I think.
Regular season doesn't matter. This is
No, I know.
playoff. Playoff
Yeah, I know.
Roslovic. We're talking about
Playoff Rempy.
playoff Rempy. I mean, he's 1 point every 4 games, so he's due to get a
Yeah,
point in the first 4 games.
technically yes. So that's something to keep an eye on. Who's like you? Who are you most scared of on Carolina? And we'll do
Gensel.
goal scorer picks, and we can close things out.
Gensel.
Gensel.
I'm not really scared of
Yeah, I'd say
anybody else.
Gensel too.
I mean, like, yeah, I feel like, they have a couple of decent, like, aside
I would
from, I feel
maybe
like,
say Seth Jarvis just because he's been really good
yeah,
so far.
I was gonna say,
But
like, I know you kind of know what you're gonna get out of Aho and Svechnikov, but yeah, I think 2 guys that you could look at to have big impacts are Netchus and then Seth Jarvis. I think they could be
yeah,
big in the series.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. Just he's got 5 points, which is second on Carolina, so he had a good series against
Who was
the
first?
Islanders. First
Oh,
was
Jarvis,
Jarvis. He
right?
had 3
Yeah.
goals, 4 assists. So he had a really good series.
But
Really
you
good
but you
series.
remember though what happened last time we played against the Rangers
But yeah, or
in the
the
playoffs, Game 7?
Hurricanes.
Got you knocking Trouba knocked him out of the game. You don't remember
You
that?
got history. There's a lot of history between these teams. You had
They they they
games.
they took they took out
Yeah,
Hedel. Think about that too.
yeah, that is true. And
And
Jack
Fox and
Drury,
Fox. They also Aho Neon Need
yeah,
Fox.
yep, Fox. And
Dr-
then you also got Brady Shea,
Former Ranger.
former Ranger. Drury's on the team. What is
His
he?
was
The
that his
nephew
nephew?
of
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it's his nephew.
You got that.
It,
You have
it,
the 2022 series. You have Trocheck
the bubble.
against his former team for the
Yeah,
first time.
Churchick. Oh, Tony D. Tony D. Can't forget
Yeah,
Tony
Tony
D.
D'Angelo. Yep, Tony
TDA.
D'Angelo. There was a really good SNY article that was posted previewing the series. It went through like everything about these teams.
Yeah.
Lavalette, guess what? He won the cup.
He coached Brendamore.
Yep. So his captain, yep.
And I mean, he's
Jack
not playing.
Drury's nephew of yeah,
Nephew of the
Chris
GM.
Drury,
Yeah.
Trocheck, formerly
And,
playing
and
with the
Foss
Hurricanes.
Foss is out for the
D'Angelo Brady Shea.
Foss is out for the playoffs, but he's still on the team.
That is true. Another Ranger. History.
Yeah. It's a lot
Rangers
of
in
things can
7. What's the
Rangers
official prediction?
Rangers in 7.
Rangers in 7. Okay. Should we do picks?
Yeah, I guess we should do 7. I think last series like
Yeah.
we thought like,
Yeah, we should do
we,
7.
we, we thought that series was going to go 4 or 5 games, so we didn't really need to do many more, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Let
that's
me
it.
let me write mine down. I'll write here. We could just you could just give me your 7 and I'll give you my 7 instead of going back. I'll write down who your 7 are so then I don't take them in a certain game.
Well, I can just write them in like I usually just keep them in like the drafts on Twitter.
Okay, sounds good. All right. You want me to go?
Yeah, you can go first.
All right, I'll go first. So game 1, I'll take Kreider.
I thought you were going to take Ralph's pick.
Nah, I gotta go safe pick here.
I
Now
got to take
game.
some. Whoa, we
Oh
go
yeah,
back
sorry.
and forth. No,
Yeah,
because
I know. My bad.
come on, Blubs.
Blubs.
He combined Blair and Bubs. Zibanejad.
Mika.
Yeah.
Okay, game 2, I will go Roslovic.
Trocheck.
You're going Vinny. Okay, game 3, I feel like this is a Kako.
Capo Caco. Yeah, I am on a 3-game win streak right now, or whatever you want to say. So I'm on a 3-game heater. Game 3.
My season's over.
Ooh, let's see. No, well, we can separate them from playoffs in the regular. So I'm up 3-1.
Yeah.
Game
You come back.
3. Who seems like a game 3 scorer on the road? Do I want to say Hedel?
Kako's just a
No.
road scorer, man. He's just gonna have it's gonna be like 1-0. It's gonna be the third period. We're gonna be
Kako's
struggling,
gonna
and Kako's
bury
gonna
one.
score. He's gonna bury one, and all hope's gonna be restored. And he's not gonna
Is
know
he,
what to do after he
what's
scores.
what's what's like the celebration from him? Is he just gonna be like,
He's gonna be
like,
like, he's just gonna be like,
or is he gonna be like, yeah?
no. He's gonna give a job's not finished 1-1.
Fired up Kako feeds families. I love when he gets fired up.
Yes.
Very rare, but on the road, game 3. You know who's gonna bury one? I'm thinking Jacob Trouba buries one.
Jacob Trouba.
Jacob Trouba.
All right. Game
Gets
4, I'll go Panarin. If Panarin doesn't have a goal in one of these 4 games, that's a disaster. So I feel like Panarin, I've got to have in my lineup for one of these 4. He's got to score in one of these 4 games. So I'll go Panarin game 4.
We'll go. We'll go Zibanejad again.
Mika, all right.
Yeah.
Game 5. Game 5, I'll go Fox.
Fox clean. All right. Game 5 for me. I will go with Himmy.
Easy. Little third line or fourth line action. Okay. Game 6. I'm going to go Mika. I haven't done them yet. I got to go Mika. Late in the series, Mika comes up clutch. I don't even know if it would go to 6. I said Rangers in 7, so we'll go.
All right. I'll counter that with Kreider.
Kreider, all right. That'd be great. If Kreider and Mika both score in game 6, that's probably a good thing. Game 7 for all the marbles.
Igor?
I wanted to go Wenberg in one of these, but I never did. I'm gonna go Trocheck in game 7.
He never
What am I doing?
scores though.
Trocheck against his former team? That's gotta be it's gotta be a given. Give me Trocheck in game 7.
All right, I'll go to finish off mine. I'll do. Let's just keep it rolling. I'll do Zibanejad again.
All right. So if Mika has a bad series, you have a bad series.
That is true. I'm
Hey,
on the Mika train.
that's how we roll.
So you got Kreider, Roslovic, Panarin, Fox, Zibanejad, Trocheck. I got Zibanejad, Trocheck, Trouba, Zibanejad, VC, Kreider, Zibanejad.
All right. I got Kreider, Roslovic, Panarin, Fox, Mika, Trocheck.
Yeah, I literally just read that off.
Oh, I thought you read yours off. Sorry.
Come on,
I was not paying attention.
Blubs.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
This is like I said. This is where I'm starting. I'm gonna get nervous now. I didn't get nervous for any of those playoff games. Like I think I said.
Yeah, I'm nervous too. I wasn't nervous for Washington series.
Game 1 at the beginning, first period, I was a little nervous. And
Once I
realized you were winning the series, yeah, this is a warm up, not a playoff. But dude, I'm freaking nervous. I'm excited. We win the series. We are winning the cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that mindset.
Playoff
Rangers in 7.
I didn't pick him to score in the series, but Philip Hedl will play a game in this series, and he will score.
Your lips to Peter Laviolette.
Whoa. I don't want my lips on Peter Laviolette. Whoa.
No, I'm saying. All right. That's probably a good cue to leave. Thanks for watching. We'll have post games after each game, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Let's go Rangers.
Rangers in 7.